So a fire brigade in the UK has been actively discriminating against white men. Let's have a look. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. I'd like to talk about this article that came out on the 28th of January about a fire service in the Midlands, the West Midlands, so near Birmingham in the middle of England. I'm looking at a map here of the UK and it's just so small compared to Australia, it's funny. Anyway, so one of the country's biggest fire services has been accused of discrimination after it emerged white men have to score higher in its recruitment tests than anyone else. Okay, this is the testing process. West Midlands Fire and Rescue Service wants 60% of new recruits to be women. Okay, 60% of their new recruits to be women. And 35% to be from black and minority ethnic groups by 2021. Because your gender, well actually no, I think your gender, because I am a firm believer that there is biological differences between men and women, and that's kind of represented in our morphology, our bodies. I think, why do they want to have women are majority recruits when statistically they're not going to be able to perform the roles as well as a man? And I've got footage that we'll have a look at just as an example to share with you all. Black and ethnic groups, yeah, I guess maybe if you're going to need to deploy fire service people to, ethnically homogenous suburbs, you want to have people that can relate to the locals there. It's kind of a sad thing that it's happening, that you're not spreading your communities out and you're going to create these little enclaves of isolation. But that's what happens in Europe these days, isn't it? I don't agree with it. It's a bit sad, but what can you do? So that I can see why there would be a logistical reason to do it. This is just political. Oh, who are we kidding? It's all political. In a bid to reach the target, they've altered the pass rates to make it easier for people from those groups to get through the test. So rather than judging people based on merit, it is simply identity politics. This is what we've been warned about. This is what we're all frustrated with. This is what those of us who have children, who've got a white male child, may be kind of annoyed. So women and men from black, Asian, and minority ethnic groups only have to score 60% on verbal and numerical tests, whereas white men have to score 70%. Okay, so that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a big difference. If you're 69%, you don't get in, but someone at 60% gets in, wouldn't you be annoyed? Bloody oath you would be. That'd be damn unfair. A senior source claims the new recruitment program introduced in late 2017 cost £100,000 a year to do this. This includes £2,500 a month spent on targeted Facebook adverts, which just appear on the profiles belonging to women to minimize white men applying. So they are actively they're admitting to actively discriminating against white men in their recruitment process. This seems insane. This is just for politics. This is where the UK has gotten to. This is happening in Australia too. In Victoria, I did a video on the forced equality state where the Minister for Women there is pushing for local councils and private businesses to discriminate. I did a video about all the CEOs of large corporations here in Australia where they're openly talking about discrimination with such arrogance. Such arrogance. And it's just disgusting. It flies in the face of everything we've been taught about having equal opportunity for everyone, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your gender. It's just going insane. He claims West Midlands Fire and Rescue Service is the first brigade in the US to introduce this tactic. Well, we'll have to watch them, guys. Keep a track to see. If you're in the UK, let me know if there's any instances of maybe death or issues or inability to provide this service. He said this directly discriminates against white men. This approach was intentionally adopted to directly manipulate the diversity figures to meet the targets. What is happening over there in the kingdom? It's just going under. You can't even walk the streets without having face recognition software capture you. They're discriminating against white men in the fire brigade, at the BBC. The country's just going under. You've got London, which is now suffering from knife attacks and acid attacks. It just seems insane. And I do not want Australia to head down this path. Not at all. And I guarantee you, most people don't either. This approach to recruitment is appalling. Yeah, it is. Not only are they discriminating against large parts of my community, but they're also doing using huge amounts of public money to do so. Well, it's socialists. Socialists, isn't it? It's all about the identity. There is such a negative culture within management who want to achieve their own agenda at all costs. Well, look at that. Look at the big fire there. They can't even probably put it out. I've never heard of discrimination on such an industrial scale in the public sector. Well, isn't this what all the people are talking about? The patriarchy. This is the social justice matriarchy actually implementing systematized discrimination. This is the system being set up to discriminate against particular groups. This is all the insane craziness they've been talking about now. They have gotten enough political power, enough gusto, and enough people in the human rights divisions of all these organizations to implement what they are arguing against. They've literally become their own enemy. It's just insane. It's always the way, isn't it? It is not fair on the members of the community who rightly expect the best people for the jobs being selected to serve in the front line. It is difficult to swallow knowing people have not been able to achieve their dream careers because they were too white or too male. That is just definitely difficult to swallow, and it's just disgusting. There should, of course, be measures put in place to encourage those from underrepresented groups to apply. But how would they feel if they found out they were required to perform at a lesser level because of their gender or ethnicity? Yeah, they would be angry. They would be angry if they knew they were a quota spot. You know, surely there could be other ways to get people from these groups involved. Maybe outreach. You know, maybe you get some role models in the community to come and talk about these jobs. No, that's too much effort. We'll just target our advertisement just at Warman and we'll make the tests easier for them. No problem. Fine. Bloody hell. It's just so unfair on everyone applying to become a firefighter, the community, and even the firefighters that serve alongside these people. The sad fact is, there are people sitting on fire engines today purely because of their gender or ethnicity. And I don't understand how any fire service leader is comfortable with that as an approach. I would argue that these leaders in the brigades, in these organizations, are not fulfilling their duty of care and responsibility to the general public because they're putting ideology and virtue signaling and quota filling ahead of ensuring they can provide the best level of service. Would this be an argument for a class action against negligence? Should they be fired and replaced? I would argue they should be. You know, the fact that you're even implementing policy like this shows you are not putting the best interests of the people whose responsibility it is you to serve as a public servant first. The new recruitment process started in September 2017. It sees recruiters dip into the pool of applicants every 3 months and choose 1,000 people to be shortlisted for the first stage, a 45-minute test in reactions. Candidates who pass the test are then sent a link to a numerical, verbal, and mechanical reasoning exam. But since the change, white men have to score 7 out of 10 to get through to the next stage, a physical test, while women and BME candidates, BME, black minority, oh, you're kidding. Anyway, only have to score 6. The source claims as part of the drive, the brigade has intentionally not posted general adverts on job boards in favor of women-targeted Facebook adverts. Why do they want these women? Why? Okay, I'll jump here. Let's watch this clip. This is a little clip. Okay, we've got a clip here. This is a little clip from a YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to the description. I don't think he's updated it in a while, but this is from a show called Fort Boyard, where I think they had to compete to do some activities. And let's have a look. This is a female firefighter in action.
Show Fort Boyard is a firefighter.
I hope they've taught you how to knock down doors.
Definitely.
In you go.
Oh no! This is tough.
As high as you can.
Yeah.
As high as you can. As high as you can.
Take a bigger run up. She's a hard lady.
Come on, Jane. Remember the elbow. Big run, as fast as you can.
That's
and high.
Go for it.
High.
Oh.
High.
So close.
As fast as you can. Well done.
Get going. Oh. Come out.
Come out.
So you can see from that clip, and I'll link to the full video in the description if you want to watch all of it, because there's a bunch of blokes that will go through and have no problems with this challenge. You can see that a trained firefighter can't get through this simple challenge. And you'd imagine that bursting through doors to get access to people who are trapped might be something that you'd have to do, that you'd expect. Okay, so if the blokes that are untrained can do this simple challenge and she can't, is she fit for a job? Tell me, what do you think in the comments, guys? What do you think? If you're calling up the fire brigade to come to your house to save your assets, what if you had a family member trapped inside a building and you know that the people that are there aren't the best that applied? They're just quota fillers. How would that make you feel if someone died there? This is crazy. So let's get back to the article. He added, this is intentionally... There is intentionally no general adverts anywhere like job boards or the brigade's own social media in order to minimize white men applying. They don't want those white men. They don't want them. This is because historically, generally non-targeted adverts lead to large amounts of white male applicants. Maybe it's because, you know, there's a show called Fireman Sam where the fireman is a hero and he saves the day. And my 3-year-old son loves it, watches it all the time. He'll go in with the hose and play fireman. It'll be, oh, Fireman Sam to the rescue all the time. Because aspiring to that, that's a good thing. But now you're just throwing it in their face. This has actually really, really upset me, to be honest. A spokesman for the West Midlands Fire and Rescue Service said, West Midlands Fire Service is committed to having a workforce which reflects the diversity of the population of all our communities and one that is welcoming to all. Do they actually think that if you have, you know, say a Muslim family there, that do you think they would give a damn in West Midlands, in Birmingham, if their house was on fire, that the fire brigade reflected the diversity of the community? No, they'd want their family saved. Everyone would want their family saved. They wouldn't give a crap about this. Normal people don't worry about this. This is political, social justice rubbish that's just chipping away at every little part of people's lives. Bloody hell. We're also extremely proud to have been ranked second in this year's top 50 UK employers list. See, this is where I think, because it's all about workplace diversity, so they get a stupid award. So these managers, these CEOs, they bounce from business to business. They meet up with each other and challenge each other to implement these social policies. I'll put a card to that ANZ CEOs discriminating against men video I did to show you an example. And we need to have other awards. You know, maybe companies that are actively promoting best employment selection, not allowing social justice ideology, not allowing identity politics to creep into their business. Give them awards, have prizes for that, and put them up on a pedestal. Sensible people need to put their businesses to those organizations. Sure, with a fire brigade, okay, no, you can't do it, but I guarantee you there'd be people in there that would want those awards more than any other. Our recruitment shows our determination to challenge outdated preconceptions about who can and can't be a firefighter. Well, this clip is only a few years old, so I don't think it's outdated. I really don't. I think you've been copying it by the SJWs. So guys, thank you for joining me for this episode. Please let me know what you think. Would you give a damn about the diversity in your fire brigade coming to rescue you? or would you kind of want the best of the best? Please like, share, and subscribe. Ding the bell if you want to see my daily videos, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.